A shalom to the hopeful elect. First and foremost, call Haloim Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who teach the truth and rule well. This is the brother Yatab, Yahweh Allah, coming back from the GMS SF Bay Area camp. And I got a quick lesson today. Lord's will is edifying, but basically going into the chariots, and this is prophecy. There was a couple videos the brothers shared the other day, going into these fleets, that keep being caught on the NASA live feed, it's a big faith booster because this is prophecy. But I also got this little advisory, that was shared, and I'm gonna read a little bit of it. But hey, this shows us what times we're in, and we're almost out of here. But this says a media advisory, Tuesday, May 17th, House Intelligence, Counterintelligence, and Counterproliferation Subcommittee to hold open hearing on unidentified aerial phenomena. It says the House Intelligence, Counterintelligence, and Counterproliferation Subcommittee, chaired by Congressman Andre Carson, DN, will hold an open hearing on unidentified aerial phenomena. Following the open portion of the hearing, the subcommittee will hold a closed, classified briefing. The American people expect and deserve their leaders in government and intelligence to seriously evaluate and respond to any potential national security risks, especially those we do not fully understand, said Chairman Carson. Since coming to Congress, I've been focused on the issue of unidentified aerial phenomena as both a national security threat and an interest of great importance to the American public. And I am pleased to chair the first Open Intelligence Committee hearing on these events. It will give the American people an opportunity to learn what there is to know about these incidents, and I look forward to hearing from our witnesses on the critical matter. It says there's still much to learn about unidentified aerial phenomena and the potential risks that they may pose to our national security. But one thing is sure, the American people deserve full transparency, and the federal government and intelligence community have a critical role to play in contextualizing and analyzing reports of UAPs, said Chairman Schiff. The purpose of the hearing is to give the public an opportunity to hear directly from subject matter experts and leaders in the intelligence community on one of the greatest mysteries of our time, and to break the cycle of excessive secrecy and speculation with truth and transparency. I'm grateful to Congressman Carson for this continued leadership and push for transparency on this important issue. But, that's pretty much it. But it goes to show that, it's come to a point where they have to address these things because, prophecy is speaking. This is Luke 21, and I'll start at verse 25. And these are the signs that Yahweh Shai told us to look for. That end time prophecies, end time signs. It says, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nation. Now we're seeing some of these signs. We have all these blood moons, these super black blue moons, the solar eclipses, lunar eclipses, and also with that is what? These chariot sightings, these are in the stars. And like I said, you have brothers sharing it, but it looks like fleets, on the NASA live feed. It says, and upon the earth, distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after these things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And these people aren't ready, It says, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And this is the point. These chariots, which the world calls them so-called UFOs, well, that's what they used to be called. Now they're unidentified aerial phenomena. These are the chariots of the Lord, and we're going to get into it. But see, the same thing that Yahweh Shai is coming in, that's what we're seeing. But see, Yahweh Shai is going to come in a fathership, a big ass UFO, for lack of a better word. It says, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. And that's why we're supposed to keep our heads up. We keep our eyes to the stars because we know that's how Yahweh Shai is coming back, And we're not supposed to be shaken. Real quick, this is Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 2. It says, thus saith the Lord, Learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. So these heathen, if they even see it, but you have a lot of people bugging out when they see chariots. They don't know what's going on, and you see this by way of, this hearing that's going to take place. These people want to know, and you have a lot of our people that don't know. They're in that heathenistic mind state. So they're bugging out when they see these things. But see, the Wadi Yal Bashim Yal Shai, we've been given this knowledge and wisdom to understand what they exactly are. And the scriptures call them the chariots of salvation, because this is exactly how the elect, the remnant, the true believers of Yahweh Bashim Yal Shai are going to be saved up out of here. But see, we're not supposed to be dismayed like these heathen. We're not supposed to be dismayed like any of these people, because, hey, ultimately, what is it supposed to be? A faith booster. Because first and foremost, the Lord said he would give us these signs. And then plus, hey, those are our vehicles of salvation, But this is in Acts chapter 1 and verse 11. And it says, and which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahushai, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as you have seen him go into heaven. And let me start up actually. Verse 9, Acts 1 and 9, it says, and when he had spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received them out of their sight. And that's another thing, another code word that the scriptures use is cloud for the actual chariots. It says, and while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahushai, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as you have seen him go into heaven. And that's the point. Hey, Yahushai is going to return on one of these chariots, these so-called unidentified aerial phenomena, And this is what we're supposed to be looking for. These are the signs. And as we see, and there's no coincidence that now in this time we see more and more sightings of these so-called UFOs. It's like every day there's a new sighting. But what does that go into? That goes into prophecy. Yahushai said these would be some of the signs to look for. And Habakkuk 2 and 3 said, hey, these signs would be speaking at the end. Meaning what? Hey, they're going to be just happening and continuing to happen on a high level. This is Psalms 68 and verse 17. And this is why we're seeing so many. It says, the chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them as in Sinai in the holy place. And this is, these are vehicles of salvation, chariots of salvation. They're not just unidentified. We know exactly what they are, and we know who exactly is driving them. The angels are driving them, But it says the chariots of the Most High are 20,000. So there's thousands of chariots. Thousands, And that's why there's so many sightings. And like I said, brother shared that video where it looked like fleets, a whole fleet of chariots, But, hey, the scriptures describe exactly what we're seeing, This is 1 Thessalonians 4. And you know what? Before I get that, let me jump to Revelation real quick, and then I'll jump back. This is Revelations 19. And verse 11. It says, and I saw heaven open, behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. So that white horse is a code word for what? Chariot. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, which is talking about Yahushai. And in righteousness he doth judge and make war. And that's another thing. Hey, these chariots are coming to mess Esau up. It says, his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of the Most High. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And what is that talking about? The angels coming together in those chariots. We read it. 20,000. 20,000. Thousands of thousands. So the whole host of heaven is coming with Yahushai. And that's why it says, be not dismayed. For when we see this sight, hey, what did Esau try to do? He tried to make movies like Independence Day to make you be scared, and tries to tell you they're little green men, some aliens, trying to abduct you and do some foreign shit, That's Esau's imagination. But hey, we know exactly what they are. And this is the point. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he treadeth the wine press of the fierceness and the wrath of the almighty power. And that's the point. Hey, he's coming to mess things up. He's going to take Esau out of power, and he's going to subdue all these other nations. And he's going to be using the technology of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, which is, these chariots. And what comes with those chariots is, what the weaponry. The scriptures talk about it. The blast of fire, the laser beams, we'll just get it real quick. Isaiah 66 and verse 15. It says, for behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fire and his rebuke with flames of fire. And that's the point. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. So these chariots are going to be killing a lot of people, going to be taking out Esau, Edom, going to be taking these armies out. You're going to see, the scriptures talk about the war in heaven. What do you think that war is? That's the army of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, these chariots, versus Esau and his fighter jets, and all these countries are going to band together to try and fight, but their technology is low level compared to the Lord's, But see, these chariots, they're gonna render his anger with fury, so they're gonna be messing a lot of Edomites up, This is 1 Thessalonians, because this is how we're going to be saved up. And, it's beautiful when you put the pieces of the puzzle together. You paint the image, because you know exactly what's going to happen. 1 Thessalonians 4, and I'll just start at verse 16 to go to the point. It says, for the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of the Most High, and the dead in Yahushai shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds. So what is that? Those chariots. To meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. Wherefore comfort one another with these words. And that's the understanding. It's not, you just dying and going to heaven. No, we literally, the ones who are still alive on this planet, right simultaneously as those nukes are coming, they're going to be saved up, which is a so-called alien abduction, caught together in the chariots, and that's how we read it. That's how Yahushua is coming with the cloud. And then finally, I'll end off on this. This is Revelation 21 and verse 1, and it says, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And this is what's going to happen. Esau's rulership is going away. America is going to be destroyed, and those nukes are going to cause a great earthquake. So the terrain, the countries are going to be looking a little different. But this is the point, verse 2. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from the Most High out of heaven. And this is the point. Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. And we read it. The ones who are alive are going to be caught up with those who died. They're both going to be getting the new bodies in the chariots. And then once, the ceremony's done, the crowns are given, and the dust settles, so to speak, on here, It says what? And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from the Most High out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And that's the point. They're going to be coming what? They're going to be coming down in those chariots back on earth to what? To establish the kingdom, you know? But, you know, hey, like I said, Lord's will, this is edifying, but this shows you that the signs, the times we're in, you know, and those so-called UFOs, you know, they're going to become more and more prevalent in the times to come. You're going to see more and more sightings. And then don't be surprised if Esau tries to say there's something other than what they really are, because the scriptures specifically say what they really are. And they are what? The chariots of salvation, driven by the angels, you know. And those are, Lord's will, we're of that number. That's how we're going to get out of here. That's how we're going to survive this thermonuclear destruction. You know, we're going to be saved up in those chariots. And then once the dust settles, so to speak, we're going to come back down and establish the kingdom, you know. Hey, but like I said, Lord's will, this is edifying. Once again, call Halaim Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect and Abba Baba.